And let's see how to look at this from up here. So, Deirdre, could you tell me a little bit about, as you look at your artwork, what happens to you right now?
My heart is beating.
Your heart is beating. We'll take a few moments, hear your heart beating, and wait a while, deep breathing, hear your breath, and take your time. Now, just try to regain your rhythm. And I don't know, see if you can just feel yourself, your energy, get a little more rooted to the ground so that you can feel something of yourself going to the ground, so that you are standing with your energy coming and rooted to the ground. Now, how does it feel right now?
I can see it. It's important to see.
Ah, it's important to see. What do you see?
Well, there's a lot of pain and sorrow in this black, but also power.
There is also power.
Yes. Black is always colorful power. It's a powerful color. It's not only negative color. It's a color for drama.
It's a color for drama.
Consciousness.
And as you were doing this blackness up here, what happened to you?
I was difficult to get on doing it, I think. But suddenly I felt that my hand was getting its natural movement.
Yeah, you want to hold it.
Yes, it was difficult to get on doing it, but then suddenly I felt that my hand was going on her own. And I think this is what was happening when it started to flow. This was just something to begin with. Yes. And it became more and more black here. I had to fill in everything. And when I watched it, it was too black. So I started to try to make the conturerna.
The outlines.
Outlines, but it is not so black really. So it's all right if it is a little bit like this.
And then you went over here.
I feel relieved when I see it.
When you feel relieved,
Yes.
what occurred over here to create some relief?
It is not so black really. The black is not so black.
The black is not so black.
No. So it became as a flower. And
It became as a flower.
yes, and first I thought it's the flower of the evil. But no, I don't think so. I don't think it's quite beautiful in a way. So it's not so threatening when it is there.
It is not so threatening.
No, when I see it.
Now that is an interesting phrase, the flower of evil.
Yes.
So, can you tell me something more about the flower of evil?
I think it can be a flower that can eat you, like these flowers, and will catch flies and stuff like that. Meat eater.
A meat eater?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
That's the evil. But then it's a beautiful flower.
In other words, it is both a meat eater that can catch you and is a beauty.
Yes.
What makes it beautiful?
I think it's very self-conscious, very unusual. I think it's very extraordinary somehow. It's very different.
Now, this eater, this flower that eats eat something alive. And that is maybe the embodiment of evil. Now if it was in your body, this flower, where would it be?
If this would be in my body?
Yes.
Downward somewhere. Not here.
Not here. Now we got time. So this flower of evil that eats, that is somewhere down in your body, the lower half of your body. Now, if this flower started to move, how would it move?
I think it could dance flamenco, or it could do Arabic dance or something like that.
Aerobic dance?
Yes, more to the Asian or
Arabic.
Arabic.
No.
That sounds pretty interesting. So that this flower that is erotic, that is sensual, that is the lower part. And that is at the same time, it is two images. The man-eater that eats, meat-eater. Meat-eater. You know where I'm going. A part of me says, watch out. Now, since I already have gone into man-eater, I might as well stay there. And as you see, it brings up some very intimate connections and associations. So what happens next as you see this lower part of the body, that is the eating part? Where does it go to next?
Well, when I was drawing, I went back here, and it's chaos. I started here, I went here, and it became this flower, and then it's perhaps two flowers, I don't know, it looks like, but then this one is more chaotic.
That one is more chaotic.
Now, here there is some kind of order and beauty, but not here.
And how about that?
Well, this is the breathing. This is the breathing hole in my life.
This is the breathing?
Yeah, it's very small, but it's there.
No. Tell me more about the breathing. What is that about?
I'm happy that it's there. I'm very happy it's there.
When you are happy that it's there, what does that do?
I can breathe.
You can breathe.
Yeah. Not too much, but so.
Okay. So that you can breathe, not too much. There is this flower that has some little more order, and that there is this chaotic flower. Now, how does it feel, the dialogue between these two? If you were to make up a story between the chaotic flower, the flower that has a little more form to it, and the part that says, I must breathe. And the part that goes into the lower part of your body, how then, what would be the story about this picture, if it told a story?
Well, I think this is my mother flower. And it is very beautiful and it's connected with the father flower. This is the father flower. It's not as beautiful as this one, but it's very powerful. And they are together, they are hand in hand. And I think this is me.
It is you.
Yes, but not really flourishing.
Not very flourishing.
No, there is no roots or how do you call it, all the green stuff.
So I have a question to ask you.
Mm.
If you became like this powerful father flower, how would you walk?
Oh, how would I walk?
Yeah. Now, and then as you walk as your mother flower.
Oh, the mother flower.
What happened to the lower part? Where did it go?
I don't know.
I missed that part. It sounds like fun. So when you are walking, you lose that lower part.
Yes, but not when I'm the father flower. Very much pleased.
It is the father. Now, I ask you, the father and the mother flower that is inside of you, that lives in you, how does it live? You say this is you.
I'm not sure, but anyway, the breathing hole is here.
The breathing hole is there.
Yes.
But in your life, is there any part of these flowers that is yours, not just your father and mother? It is yours. Not just them, but you.
From this picture.
Yeah. The power, the lower eroticism,
Yes.
the one that says I must eat,
Mm-hmm.
to take in life,
Yes.
and the power that says I will go out.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Now, where are those pieces in your life now?
Well, the mother flower is very concrete. Small children and big children, many children. So the mother flower is there.
She's very busy.
Yes, very busy. And so that kind of femininity is there as a mother flower. But not the powerful expression of the father flower, no.
How come?
Because I have 3 children and they are always awake at the night time.
You're always working at night. Well, where's the father?
It is at home.
Well, I ask you a question. You have 3 children at home,
Yes.
and you are very busy.
Yes.
So where is the father? He's at
He's
home.
also busy.
He's also busy.
Yes.
So, if the father was at home inside of you as mother, how would the father inside of you be right now as mother?
Oh, I would tell them to away with you.
Away with you. What do you mean by away with you?
Take care of yourself.
Take care of yourself.
Mom, you don't need me.
You don't need me.
Oh no. You
Now-
can do this on your own.
Okay. So, I asked you a question. Your father, is that how he responded to you?
Yes, I believe in you very much.
He believed in you.
Yes.
And he said, get on with it.
Yes. Always.
Always.
Mm.
And now, does the father inside of you live who says, get on with it? Or is the mother becoming too powerful?
Yes, I think so. I think that, well, the mother part is very, very, not so strong at all, actually. And still, it's getting more and more place.
So that it is taking more and more place,
Mm.
but the father, which is the real source of
Energy.
energy,
Mm.
that is not used as much now.
No.
Aha. Now, if you and I were to go and meet the father and the mother inside of you,
Mm.
how would they be able to get along together? Would they meet and work as a team? Would they be different? How would they get along?
They would work as a team.
And so, could the mother say to the father, look, take over a little bit?
No.
These men. How come?
Well, because he was a busy man. He didn't have time for children. Not in the everyday life, but in certain occasions.
Okay. So that what happens is that the balance and the power of the male and the power of the female, there is a difference in power here. And there is a difference in the source of power. This has much more unwieldy power. This has a certain more form to it. And we see that there is sorrow to the right, to the left, power, strength, beauty, dance. Now, as you are looking here, and we're talking about father and mother, what is going on inside of you?
I feel that this is a very beautiful flower, and that it hasn't really got space. So I feel for it much more today than before. This has been so clear, the strength and energy, as a source of strength and energy. And I start to sympathize with this. And I feel sorrow that I do it now. Anyway.
And then I ask you a question. Did you give too quick a boundary and a form to this flower?
Yes, yes.
And then I ask you that the source of power is there, but what happened is that you gave too quick a boundary.
Yes, I think so.
And that by giving it to shape, you in many ways did not let the power of the woman go where it needed to go. You gave it a shape before it had a chance to find its own shape. And that imposing the shape stopped it reading and matching this power. Go ahead and think a little bit about that.
Yes, I see that I might have defined this too quickly. That fits into my...
Yeah, maybe we will stop right now, and maybe I will make a few comments about this. In many respects, I appreciate what you have shown us today. For some ways, you are also representing the struggle of men and women, and that often it is possible for women to perhaps put too quick a boundary on the power and understand too much the source of the definition before the definition comes out. And that it is quite possible for women to get lost in definitions that are imposed on them, that are easy to respond to out of necessity. And as a result, there is some equal kind of level between the two powers and the source of energy. For black can mean many things in terms of power, sexuality, energy. If it can mean drama, if it can mean strength, it can mean beauty. Then part of the play of using power and energy and dipping into the self is to let the power and the energy evolve rather than shaping it before it is asking to be shaped. And I think since most of the audience is women, I think that this is in part one of the real dilemmas of women who perhaps are too easily aware about being shaped, too easily aware of the shape at the cost of the power and energy that can only define itself in certain ways and does not always have the freedom to move in many different directions. And I have discussed this with many women therapists and patients, and that often one of the most fascinating kinds of experiences that I have had is not just that there is the inequality, that there are tremendous problems in the women or mothers giving permission to daughters to find the power before the definition is imposed. And sometimes it is easier for boys to have the power, the energy, the freedom of aggression, of sexuality, of energy, of playing with all kinds of powerful sources. And then there is the struggle of, is it cultural? Is it constitutional? I can't answer that. But I know that one of the dilemmas and struggles of the time are women and men trying to find each an equal share of power. To be able to transform energy into a definition, but the definition comes from the source inside rather than from external sources. To be able to hear the play of knowing when to kind of give it form and when to really hear that energy, to let it move in its eroticism, in its aggression, in its libidinous height, to be able not to stop it, but to mirror it and to believe in it. That is the true power of men and women sharing this, which is so hard today and so difficult. In many respects, it is also what treatment is in part about. It is going back and helping people go into that source of energy and help people not define it before they're ready to define it. Not to be able to get so caught up in social roles and social expectations like the good girl, the good boy, as the patient that I just described. That the rage, the grief, the pain, all the stuff that is in the black spot is superimposed too early, too quickly. And then the power of black is never really given to you. In many respects, the case that I've offered to you is a rediscovery of blackness, rediscovering of power, of rediscovering one's true rhythm, of dipping into the chaoticness and letting the power find its own definition. It is a very frightening and enlivening discovery. It is what happens sometimes in treatment, often in life, sometimes in marriage, quite often in work, to be able to find how really to be work from the inside, so the inside meets the outside, and there is some congruence. To me, that is what treatment is about. That is what artistry is about. That is what therapy is about. To be able to dip in that bottomless source of blackness and find power, luminosity, and something new and undiscovered in blackness as you dip in each time. You've been a very engaging audience. I want to thank you, and it's always good to meet my friends in Sweden once again. I thank you.